So, good day everyone. Today I'll be discussing enhancement problems for board work. So, let's start uh, here. Which of the following is the one of the main purposes of a refractory in a boiler furnace? A. Help preheat the air for the furnace. B. Help preheat the feed water. C. Protect economizer for excessive heat. Or D. Prevent excessive furnace heat losses. So for this number, ang answer na ay letter D. Prevent excessive furnace heat loss. Why? Since a refractory is a heat-resistant material that lines the inside of a boiler furnace. Since the furnace operates at extremely high temperatures, the refractory serves as an insulating barrier. So, gaano na siya, gina-prevent niya ang excessive loss means more energy is used to produce steam instead of being waste, making the boiler more efficient. So that is why ang answer sa 46 is letter D. So next, heat is transferred from hot water to oil in a double pipe counterflow heat exchanger. Water enters the outer pipe at 120 degrees Celsius and exits at 55 degrees Celsius, while the oil enters the inner pipe at 26 degrees Celsius and exits at 65 degrees Celsius. What is the log mean temperature difference, or LMTD? So, natay given nga 42.60 degrees, 40.62 degrees, 46.20, and letter D nga 42.06 degrees Celsius. So, for the solution, pangitan sa atong given, kay naamatay hot water inlet, which is 120 degrees Celsius, and outlet na to 55 degrees Celsius. Atong inlet sa oil na 26 degrees, then outlet din sa atong oil na 65 degrees Celsius. Pwede dito makahimo sa to ang TS diagram. So kanin siya tong TS diagram. So since gihatag sa to ang kay double pipe counterflow heat exchanger. So T1 drop siya since nibaba mo niyang degrees. So T1 to T2, then counterflow mo sa dayon. So T3, so gud po kadiri. Saka na pod to T4. So naman sa tayo TS diagram, mas nakita na to ang counterflow double pipe counterflow na heat exchanger. Pwede na to siya ma-solve. So para makuha na to ang maximum temperature, minus na to ang T1 sa T4. So since ito ang T1 is 120 and T4 na to is 65, minus ito na siya na ito equivalent nga 55 degrees Celsius. That would be at our maximum temperature. Next na to, isolve na to ang minimum temperature, which is isubtract na to ang T2 o T3, which is 55 minus 26. Ang equivalent na is 29 degrees Celsius. So, since na naman tayo minimum and maximum temperature, pwede na natin masolve ito ang log mean temperature difference, or LMTD. Simple, gamitin na itong formula nga maximum temperature minus minimum temperature over Ln times maximum temperature over minimum temperature. Since na naman tayo minimum and maximum, so what is that substitute? 55 minus 29 over Ln 55 over 29. Simply solve natin sa calculator na atay answer na 40.62 degrees Celsius, which is letter B. So ang answer sa 47 is letter B. Next. Balance pressure traps are what type of steam trap? A. Thermodynamic, B. Mechanical, C. Thermostatic, or D. They do not belong to any specific type of trap family. So for this question, number 48, ato ang answer will be letter C, thermostatic. Why? Since uh, ang thermostatic ino-open and closes temperature according to the temperature of the condensate. So gina-trap din niya siya. Cold condensate, bellows contract, valve opens, and hot steam reaches the trap. Moagi na po diya sa vaporize na po ang liquid, bellow expands, then valve closes. So thermostatic na siya. Next, in a Rankine cycle, steam enters the turbine at 2.5 MPa and a condenser pressure of 50 kilopascal. What is the quality of steam at the turbine exhaust? Steam properties at 2.5 MPa, H is equal to 2,803.1 kilojoules per kilogram, and S 6.2575 kilojoules per kilogram Kelvin. Sa at 50 kPa, natay HF na 340.49 kilojoules per kilogram, HFG which is equivalent to 2,305.4 kilojoules per kilogram. Then ito ang volume na 0.00103 cubic meter per kilogram. SF na to 1.0910 kilojoules per kilogram Kelvin, and SFG na 6.5029 kilojoules per kilogram Kelvin. So for the solution, simple ra kayo. Ano na siya? So for the solution, very straightforward na formula. Natay x sub 2 is equivalent to S2 minus SF2 over SFG times 100%. Since ano man na siya, hindi pangita kay ang quality. So naaman tayo S2. Substitute lang, 6.2575 minus 1.0910 over 6.5029 times 100%. So natin equivalent na 79.45%, which is letter A sa to ang problem. So the final answer sa tong number 49 is letter A, 79.45%. Next, an adiabatic turbine steam generating plant receives steam at a pressure of 7 MPa and 550 degrees Celsius. H is equal to 3531 kilojoules over kilogram, and exhaust at a condenser pressure at 2 kPa. H is equal to 2290 kilojoules per kilogram. The turbine inlet is 3 meters higher than the turbine exit inlet. Inlet steam velocity is 15 meter per second, and the exit is 300 meter per second. Calculate the turbine in kilojoules per kilogram. So for the solution, work turbine is equal to negative delta H plus delta K plus delta P, which is equivalent to H sub 1 minus H sub 2 plus V sub 1 squared minus V sub 2 squared over 2000 plus G times Z sub 2 minus Z sub 1 over 1000. Since naa naman tayo given ang natanan, straightforward ra gyapon kayo ato ang formula. So 3531 minus 2290 plus 15 meter per second squared minus 300 meter per second over 2000 plus gravity 9.800 or 9.81 times 3 over 1000. So Solve na to na siya na tay final answer nga 1196.24 kilojoules per kilogram. So it will be letter B. Muna itong final answer sa itong work turbine, 1196.24 kilojoules per kilogram. Letter B. Next, determine the indicated power of a 4-cylinder stroke diesel engine with 20 centimeter bore and 30 centimeter stroke running at a 1000 RPM and has a reading of 450 kilopascal mean effective pressure in the indicator diagram. So for the formula natin, papangitan na ito ang volume displacement formula which will equivalent to dito sa pi over 4 times d squared L times n over 2 times n over 60. Since na naman tayo number of strokes which is 4, substitute natin na siya. Convert centimeter into meters. So yeah, dito na siya. So pi over 4 times 0.20 squared, which is ito ang centimeter bore, times 0.30, ito ang stroke, over 1000 RPM over 2 times 4 stroke, number of stroke 4 over 60. Solve na ito na siya. So naatay answer nga 0.3142 cubic meter per second. So after that, since na naman tayo volume displacement, pwede na natin masolve itong indicated power. So indicated power is equivalent to P times displacement volume. So 450 kilopascal pressure na siya. Effective pressure 450 kilopascal times 0.3142 cubic meter per second, which will be equivalent to 141.4 kilowatts or equivalent to 1.89.53 horsepower. That would be letter B in our problem. So the final answer would be letter B, 189.53 horsepower para aning number 51. So that's all. Thank you for listening and goodbye.